This is world-renowned economist. It's weird because how I got here was because I was a pretty good student, always studying, always reading my textbook, but most importantly, I had a love for economics. Some people said that the stock market was just a random walk, so I guess I had quite a bit of luck. I became pretty successful. I made big investments in the stock market, and someone told me what I did was good for the economy, or something called the GDP. One day, however, my luck seemed to run out. I had put all my money in the stock market, and things took a turn for the worse. I lost my job, I lost my possessions, I lost my suit jacket, and my house. Yeah, I didn't think I needed it anymore. It was tough, but I made it through somehow. I guess it was time for me to go back to the basics.
From NPR News, this is the Hourly News Report. I'm Carl Washington, your host for the day. Cuba has just been annexed as the 52nd state. As a result, future expectations predict that demand for Cuban cigars will skyrocket. Unemployment has reached an all-time low as factories in the Midwest have increased their labor force due to high demands for the new flag.
Interesting news, isn't it?
Huh?
Get up. Wait a minute. Aren't you that guy in the news who lost everything?
Yeah, I guess I am.
What in the world happened?
Well, I just think I ran out of luck.
Look, kid, there's no luck in economics. It's all skill.
Skill. Skill's my middle name. Test me.
Alright then, what's Say's law?
What did say?
Supply creates its own demand.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I was testing you there.
So basically you're telling me you know no economics.
Of course I know economics. Except some things.
So you don't know anything. Look, kid, with your track record, I'm sure I could turn your life around.
And why would you ever do that?
Well, I was like you once. I was a big shot economist, I played the stock market, I even had a pretty good run too, but it couldn't last. And when I lost everything, I had to work real hard to turn my life around, and I don't want you to have to go through the same things that I did. If you're willing to put in the work, I'm willing to help.
Sounds good.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it was from here that I learned some very interesting things about economics.
Nice house, by the way.
Thanks, I bought it with my money. Look, the way you've been doing economics is all wrong. Tell me what you know.
Well, pretty much everything.
Alright then, what's the law of diminishing marginal utility?
No, except for that one. I don't know.
Alright, the law of diminishing marginal utility states that as you get more of something, the amount of pleasure or utility that you get from each additional unit decreases until eventually it's zero or even negative.
No, I don't buy that. I know for a fact that I can never get enough candy. Where do you get that from?
Last night I went trick-or-treating.
You went trick-or-treating? Aren't you a little old for that?
Well, the opportunity cost of me getting free candy is that I have to dress up as a giant chicken.
Well, you want me to eat it now?
Eat this candy.
Challenge accepted.
Next one. More candy, please.
Okay. I get it.
Excellent. Now let's move on to the next lesson. Let's move on to the next lesson. First, go clean up.
What's next?
Well, now we're gonna do a drawing activity.
Drawing activity? There's no paper. Okay, you need to stop doing that. But I forgot something. Pencil?
Draw this vase.
And what am I supposed to learn from this?
Look, just draw the vase. What is this?
This is beautiful. It's art. It's modern, abstract. The lines on the side, they represent poverty, sending mankind down a depressing abyss. This deserves to go to my art museum.
Yeah, it did have a lot of good trash cans there. Let me tell you how it's really done, okay? Look. You have to first establish the foundation. Alright, once we've established the foundational outline, now watch how I shade this piece.
Okay, yeah.
Start with long lines. Furthermore, there are 3 parts of the shadow: the dark side, the light side, and the highlight.
Wow, this is really good. I'd pay $50 for this thing.
Really? What if I drew 5 of them? Then how much would you pay for each one?
Probably, I don't know, probably $10.
And what if I drew 20 or even 100 of them? How much would you pay then?
I guess just the pennies under my pillow I keep for good luck. Wait a second. I have a really revolutionary idea. Are you listening?
Mm-hmm, I'm listening.
Okay, so if there's more supply of something, more art pieces, then that means people will pay less. But here's the interesting part, that when there's less of something, people will pay more. Call the presses. I have a book to write.
That's called supply and demand. It was invented hundreds of years ago, and I'm sure even the average 8-year-old knows that. When there's less supply of something, given demand staying constant, the price will go up, and vice versa.
Yeah. I guess brilliant minds think alike, right? Okay, I'll keep drawing.
Alright, we can stop now. Clearly this isn't working. You know what? Next, let's learn all about the Laffer curve.
Is this another one of your useless lessons?
Nope. It's another one of my very useful lessons. Now take your bad drawings and try to curve them into this trash can. Okay. Try to make it into the trash can was the key point. Luckily you have a lot of bad drawings to try with. Again. Alright, kid. This is your last chance. The last bad drawing you can try to throw away.
Okay, I got this. Arc, right?
Alright, let me tell you what you were supposed to do. The Laffer curve looks like this, and it describes the relationship between marginal tax rates and government revenue. At some tax rates, too high, and it disincentivizes investment. But at some tax rate, the tax rate is too low, and the government doesn't get enough revenue. This theory postulates that there is some optimal tax rate that the government should charge.
I didn't really understand what he was saying, but you know what they say, when you don't get trash ball, try tea.
Lesson, I want to teach you about the effects of banks and interest.
You gonna go get that?
Yes. In the meantime, make me some tea.
Wait. How do you make tea?
Tea's in the cupboard, water's in the sink.
No. Hot tea. Oh.
Hello?
你的租金已经晚了6个月了，你是在欠我2万块钱。
$20,000? Look, sir, there's a price ceiling on how much you can charge me, and the limit is $15,000.
你已经晚了，所以你欠我的钱增加了。
Sir, remember the wise man once said, the grasshopper who steps on the pond once can only chirp twice. Is that tea ready?
Have your tea, sir.
What is this?
Tea, sir.
Look, you can't be a great economist without first learning how to make great tea. Now, the water in this cup is like a bank. And the tea here is like your money. When you first put your tea into the water, there's not a lot of flavor. But as time goes on, the flavor in your tea grows. That's the effect of compounding interest on money in the bank. Where'd you get that money to buy that food that you're eating?
I got it from unemployment benefits from the government.
See, that's Keynes working right there. Government spending helping unprotected people like you get by.
You mean rich people? Okay, previously rich people? Well, man, I love this Keynes guy. Can we go meet him?
He's dead. He died a long time ago, and he was a terrible man. He's made America into China's dumpster.
What?
You see, when the government goes into debt, imports become cheaper. Now we have Chinese cars, Chinese golf clubs, even Chinese American flags. Damn Cuba. I need a new flag.
It was after that moment that I started to get a little sentimental.
Why'd you bring us back to your old house?
I just don't get it. You know, when I bought this house 20 years ago, it was only worth $30,000. I bet you I can muster up that kind of change right now.
Kid, times have changed. $30,000 today isn't worth what it was 20 years ago when you bought this house because of the effects of inflation. Now this house will cost you a lot more money.
Yeah, well, I knew that. It was just, you know, when I had that job, I had control of all the factors of production. You know, I could buy all the land I wanted, I could hire whoever I wanted, I could buy all the capital goods I wanted. But now, well, what do I have control over? Nothing.
Kid, just remember, if you have power over your own will, you can still become somebody.
What is that supposed to mean?
Just let it sink in.
I really did let it sink in, but it was from this point on that I finally was taking his lessons to heart.
Why did you do that?
Well, you can take one of my pieces now, but I already took one of yours. It's an equal exchange, just like exchange rates.
Except you forgot to account for the conversion factor in the exchange rate.
What factor?
Well, oftentimes what seems like an equal exchange actually isn't because of the conversion factor. For example, a queen doesn't have the same value as a pawn, so you actually lost a lot more than you gained.
Can I redo that move?
I was learning pretty quickly, and with all this knowledge, I only need one thing left to get my job back. How to tie a tie.
I've seen you wear a tie before. What is this?
I have worn a tie before. Except I can't put it on when other people are watching me, you know. Stage fright. Okay, the last one was a clip-on.
Okay, let me tell you how to tie a real tie. This is strictly about drawing graphs. You start with aggregate demand. Then you do aggregate supply. And finally, you wrap it up with LRAS.
I get it.
I was still making mistakes, but my mentor really taught me well, and I think I was ready. So this was the time for me to get my job back and get back into the economics industry.
Better not be wasting my time with this interview. I don't even know why we hired you last time. You have zero economic ability.
A hello would be nice to start with.
You really think you deserve a hello?
Sir, times have changed and I'm educating myself.
You lost us all of that money.
And I'm fairly confident that I even have more economic knowledge than you know.
Is that a challenge?
Of course not. Why would I be challenging you here?
What is MPC and what is MPS?
Marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save. It's the amount an average consumer would spend or save with the last dollar of government spending.
So you know these cute little terms and definitions, but how is your application? What should government do if GDP is falling?
It depends. What's happening to the price level?
What do you mean by price level?
If the price level is rising, then a falling GDP would indicate stagflation. There's nothing fiscal or monetary policy could do about it. You know, sir, I think it's time for me to start asking you the questions. What would the Federal Reserve do if the economy was in hyperinflation?
You're kidding me, right? It's so easy. Just raise the reserve requirements on the banks. Then the banks can't loan that much and we have less money to spend so inflation goes down.
And anything else?
Yeah?
You forgot to say raise the discount rates and sell treasury securities.
So you have this banker part of you, but what makes that think you can sell bonds and securities on the open market?
I've already shown you that I have more economic knowledge than you do, and I'm sure I could take that knowledge and apply it to make things happen.
Fine. I'll give you a second chance.
Thank you, sir.
Don't screw it up.